This empty chair represents the addict who died today, not knowing recovery was possible.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of The Empty Chair for the Addict That Did Not Make It. Tonight, we have two amazing guests here that will be sharing their experience and strength, and most importantly, their hope. This is an amazing couple that is navigating recovery while running a business and emerging families together. And it's just, I love hearing successful stories of mostly recovery, but even taking it a step forward in what you two are doing with each other. As always, we dedicate our show to individuals that have lost their life to addiction. And tonight I'm going to put this young man's picture up. This is Joseph Mafera of Winchester. He passed away on October 4th this week. He leaves behind his mother, Michele Ryan, his father, John, and his siblings, Cole and Allie. He was a cherished grandson of Barbara Ryan and Carol Mafera. He is the nephew of Michael Ryan and Lisa. He is definitely missed, greatly missed by all, as his mom actually has reached out and is looking for some grieving. So our hearts are broken for all of you, and we will continue to pray for all of you. And we do this show so that we can get individuals into sober living after they complete treatment. And also we do the show as a prevention and education so that we will stop losing lives. In August, we planted some flags for overdose deaths, and there was 2,125, I believe, in the state of Massachusetts of individuals that lost their lives. And today we have more resources than ever than when way back in the day, 10 years ago, 20, like there are way more resources. So there's, we're here so that these numbers will continue to decrease. Even though they are decreasing, they're still happening and they shouldn't be. So again, our hearts and prayers out to this young man who this show is dedicated to. As for the show itself, it is always dedicated to the late Phil Leahy, who is my co-partner, my co-chair, and he may not be here physically, but he is here presently with me this evening. And there's my buddy, my partner in crime. Fran just celebrated her first wedding anniversary without him this week, so if we can just keep her in your prayers as she's continuing to mourn the loss of her husband. In our eyes, he was a legend, and we miss him terribly. Although I still do feel him with me. It's comforting to have that feeling, but it is sad not to have his presence here on this earth with us. I also want to take a time to draw attention to the banners that you will see throughout this show. These are the names that you folks are seeing right now as well. These are individuals, organizations that have sponsored tonight's show or our show for the series, and their funds go into a scholarship fund, which allows us to scholarship individuals after they complete treatment to get additional help. We were looking at some of the numbers. I had this conversation with a coworker today in regards to individuals that just do detox and then return home versus the success rate of an individual who does detox and then goes into sober living. And the sober living has higher numbers of staying sober and remaining sober. And I think it's because we changed the wiring in our brains of we've been through detox 5 times. We know the drill. We're going to go home, and there's all our triggers. So sober living and aftercare is probably the most important part of your recovery. And as doctors will always say, their job is only 10% of your recovery. Your 90% is up to you and the decisions that you make and the choices that you make with what you're going to do. So welcome to tonight's episode. Again, our sponsors are the Alternative Healthcare, which is Andrea and Bob Surrett, the Bright View Company, Circle of Hope, which is, again, the late Phil Leahy and Fran. They meet on Monday evenings at the Methuen Police Department at 6:30 to 8. If you have a family member or a friend or a loved one that is struggling with addiction, please come to Methuen Police Department on Monday evenings at 6:30 to meet with us. And together we can, and alone you can't. You don't have to talk. You can just hear of other people, the other families who have gone through a crisis and how they handled it. I also want to thank Enterprise Banks, both Methuen and Andover. Wyndham got held up this afternoon, so there was a hold up at that bank in Wyndham, New Hampshire. And also Team Sharing. I don't know if you two met with them at the event. Team Sharing has created the most beautiful license plates, and their goal is to decrease stigma by honoring those who have passed away to addiction. And they needed 750 before the state of Massachusetts will run the plate so that people can have it. And I think this past week they only needed 50 more people to sign up to get the license plate. And they're absolutely gorgeous. You can see it at Team Sharing, or you can reach out to me and I can send you the information. So all my Massachusetts residents, friends that are in recovery, that have lost a loved one, please, please get the license plate. Let's make a huge difference. Let's make a huge impact on bringing the overdose awareness into not only our state, but to wherever we travel. So, and I think that's all I have. I don't have the statistics with me. My printer wasn't working, but I do want to let individuals know we had 7 overdoses within a 5-day period. 3 of them were over the weekend. They were 3 females in the city of Lawrence, and there were 4 that week before. So it was within a matter of 5 days, 7 individuals lost their lives. And again, there's no need to lose your life. If you're use with someone, if you need Narcan, reach out. We have Narcan available. We have fentanyl test strips available. The only thing with right now, the drugs are being laced with a product that Narcan cannot reverse. And that's something that you need to take into consideration. To me, it's playing Russian roulette. Every time you use, you have to say, like, I'm spinning the wheel, and is this going to be the one that's going to kill me? So I'm begging you, if you're struggling, if you need help, if you don't know how to ask for help, have one of your friends, family members call us. Go to your local police department and just say, I need help, and they will reach out. Almost all of our police departments in the Merrimack Valley currently have support inside them. They're there to help you, not harm you, especially if it's recovery you're looking for. So all that being said, welcome to this beautiful couple I have in here tonight. And I know, you said you don't go to meetings, you don't do that, but you do have a powerful testimony of where the disease took you, where you ended up in prison, where you are now, and the man that you are, not only the man, the father, and the husband to this beautiful bride. So share a little bit about your story with us. Like, how did you get on drugs, and what was your final, I got to get off, like, your turning point for you?
I was real young when I got into drugs. And, I lived in a town that, a lot of us were just getting high.
Yeah.
And, when they built Square One Mall in Saugus, that's when limp kids started coming. And, and the drugs just started pouring in. And, us, we were just started getting curious.
When you said drugs pouring in, because I just want to back up to give us a time frame, what year is that around?
This is in the 90s.
In the 90s,
yeah.
Okay. So when drugs were coming in, was it real cocaine?
It was back then. It was real cocaine, real heroin.
Yeah.
Not the stuff that's out there now.
Correct.
So these new drugs are too much. That's my thing. Is I was a heroin addict.
Yep.
I was around for fentanyl.
Yep.
At the end. Yep. But I didn't like fentanyl. Fentanyl wasn't my drug.
Amen.
Mine was heroin.
Yeah.
I can't get heroin no more.
No.
There's no more heroin.
No.
I don't like fentanyl. I don't like that high. So it's for me. I wouldn't want it anyways.
Right.
But like where you were saying earlier, see, what happened was with me was when I was younger, going into the places, to detoxes, I would go into, like, my last one was at McLean's Hospital. I went in there in 2012. So when I went in there, I did my detox. They tried to get me aftercare. They couldn't get me any aftercare. and I was homeless. I was on the street. So they had no choice but to release me back to the street.
Yeah.
So, you know, I went back to the street,
Yeah.
you know, went back to using,
Yeah.
getting high, cycle, you know, kept on going. My ex-wife, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. I was with her since we were high school. So, you know, we were running together. We were, you know, we were each other's poison anyways. But, you know, finally in 15, I got arrested again. You know, I've been in and out of prison since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've done about 18 years, you know,
Yeah.
off and on. I was doing the life
Where were
in
what prison were
installment.
you in?
My last one was
Yeah.
in Florida.
Florida. Okay.
Yeah. So, and that's the final one was, you know, I was in there, and I was already at my wit's end with drugs at the time.
Mhm.
And, you know, I went in there and I knew like she was going to pass. I had 3 daughters. So when I was in there, I was like, what's the sense of getting high? And then the best part was I ended up in a lot of trouble in there.
Yep.
I did my last 3 years, 2 months in solitary confinement. I did straight in solitary.
How did you survive that? And like, explain that to someone who's listening. What that is? That's only 1 hour of sun a day.
Oh, you don't even get that in Florida. It's not like that. You got 3 days a week. You get out for 1 hour, and 3 days a week you shower. You don't get rec. You don't go out your cell. You're in the cell.
So how does one stay sane? Do you get books to read?
You can get books.
Okay.
So you know, your family can send you books and stuff like that. So that's pretty much how I got through it. Was
And
I
the
would
fact
do a lot of
that
reading.
you're alive? Because I don't know.
Yeah.
I couldn't have done that.
I mean, my thing was when I was in that situation, I
Yeah.
knew like it was the prison's way of like trying to take your mind.
Yeah.
So how I looked at it was, if I let them take my mind, they win.
Yep.
I don't want them to win.
Amen.
So I just got into a lot of reading, studying. I did a lot of like Bible stuff like that because I was in my, you know, I was working on my recovery my way.
Yep.
See, there's a million different ways of recovery. There's not just one. You know what I mean? Like some people, meetings are great. For me, meetings are triggers.
Yep.
Because I go in there, I hear the stories, and then it's like,
Yep.
I could do that one more time. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I just avoid them.
Yep.
You know, and that's how I'm able to stay sober. Is,
Amen.
you know, I know my triggers. I know
Yep.
what to stay away from. You know, and that's how I'm doing it now.
Yeah.
But back to like the solitary. I mean, the best way was for me was like books and studying.
Yeah.
You know, and I had my mom like, cause see, during my childhood, I didn't have that mother like connection. You know, my father died in 2009. And so after that, you know, I went back because I was sober when my father died. Then I went back into addiction. And then, you know, then when I went to prison, my mother stepped up. You know, she had my kids for a while. So she stepped up to the plate. She helped me. And I was telling her, like, this time was it. Like, this was the last time.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, I got out and my determination was to get my kids back. So I got out, went to DCF, said, what do I need to do to get my kids back?
Yeah.
And what was weird for me was I was 5 years sober at this time.
Yeah.
They had me go back. They had me do MAT. They said I had to do MAT in order to get my kids back. Like I have to prove that I'm abiding by their family plan.
Right.
So I got a hold of the Suboxone Clinic in CHA Malden.
Yeah.
I told them, I said, listen, they're making me do this. I don't know why. I'm 5 years sober. But what we'll do is, can I get on the clinic for 1 year? Let me do 1 year, and then we'll wean me off and get me off. So this way I can show them that I can get on and get off.
Yep.
So that's what I did too. So I went on there, got on the Suboxone, went on for the year.
Yep.
And then after the year, I started coming down. And then there was an incident that ended up happening that got me my daughter back quicker.
Yeah.
But I got all my kids back.
Yeah.
That was my first goal. Was like, let me get them.
Can I ask a question on that? So you're 5 years clean and they're giving you Suboxone. Did you feel high? Did you?
Yeah.
So
when I first got on, I was getting high.
Isn't
Like,
that an
it was.
oxymoron? 5 years abstinent.
That's what I didn't understand about it, why they would do that to me.
Right.
But they said I had to follow their family plan in order to get my daughters back.
Right.
So I was going to do anything they wanted me to do, even though I didn't want to do it. And that's why I stayed at like a low dose. I didn't go high. You know what I mean? So I stayed at a really
You're
low
lucky
dose. I did,
that you
yeah,
did not get addicted to that. There's an amazing documentary out right now called Recovery City, and it's about following the family plan
yeah.
and how this girl followed it to a T, and they still wouldn't give her. It's overwhelming the power that our government
Has a hold of you.
Yeah.
It is. I had an incident that happened. The family that had my daughter ended up assaulting my daughter.
Wow.
So that's how I got my daughter back sooner,
Yep.
you know. And then now I have her. It's been
Amen.
almost 3 years I've had her back.
Amen. How
You
old
know,
is she?
She's 15.
Awesome.
I mean, I have all three of my daughters because
Yep.
it was I have a 23-year-old, I have a 20-year-old, and I got a 15-year-old.
Yep.
And then I also have an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old.
Yes.
But I got 2 bonus children.
Amen.
So, but yeah.
Yep.
So, but that was my first goal, was to get them back.
Yep.
And I was gonna, no matter what. And then my daughter has kids now too.
Yep.
So
So
I have
you're a
2.
grandpa?
I have 2 grandsons.
Aww.
So, and she told me too, like if I ever was to relapse, I would have no,
Yep.
she would not let me see my
Absolutely.
grandkids. And I'm not gonna.
No.
I have too much good stuff to live
You have an
for.
amazing life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do.
And you've gone through hell to get it.
Yeah, I
And
did.
like here you sit,
Yeah.
one of the things is that you're running a business.
Yeah,
right?
I'm just getting it off the ground, but yeah,
And what is the
Yeah.
business?
construction.
Awesome. Good for
I
you.
do construction.
In what area?
I do it all.
Okay, but like in
North
Merrimack
Shore.
Valley?
Oh,
Shore.
I'm North Shore.
North Shore?
Yeah, North Shore.
That's so
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it's out of Saugus. Methuen doesn't let you do sole proprietor out of businesses, so I couldn't get it in Methuen where we live. But luckily, I have a house in Saugus, and my house is residential and commercial.
Awesome.
So I was able to get my business license through Saugus. So I
Amen.
got my business license, EIN number, and all that. Now,
Good for you.
now I'm getting the insurances and everything else I need. I got my HIC certificate. I'm going for my BA in project management at Wentworth. I'm a
Awesome.
full-time student at Wentworth, going for my BA.
God bless you.
in
My
project
friend's a
management.
project manager in Boston, and I listen to her scream every night. That's tough stuff.
Yeah.
That really is.
Right.
So talk to me about your kids. What was the distance of time before you saw them?
8 years.
8
I didn't
years.
see my kids for 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what was that process like of being meeting them or being reunified with them?
I mean, it was weird because it just happened overnight. It was, she got assaulted. Now I haven't talked to him in 8 years either.
Yeah.
And I get a phone call and it's my daughter. And she's like, Dad, can you come get me? I'm like, I can't. Like, they won't. If I come near you, they'll call the cops on me again. And every time I try to go near my kids, they'd call the cops on me and say I did something, which I wasn't doing.
Yeah.
But they just were keeping me away from my kids because to my kids, they were their paycheck. They were their money.
Absolutely.
So they didn't want me near my kids to get my kids back.
And were they family members or were they
No.
strangers?
They were friends of my family.
Okay.
Like it was my best friend's family.
Yeah.
They've known me since we were, little kids. So it was kind of weird that they did it, but it was more his wife.
Yeah.
It was her. So, but he died, rest his soul. But, so anytime I try to get near my kids, they'd call the police on me,
Right.
make up a story. So I couldn't. So I just got a call and then they were like, well, she just beat up Ava.
Oh, jeepers.
So then I was like, okay, I'll come get you. How do you want me to do it? Do you want me to, I was willing to either, do you want me to get you the right way or do you want me to go back to prison way? Because I'll do whatever you need me to do right now. I'll come and do.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, just come, call 911 when you get there.
Yeah.
And we'll be ready. And then when we see the police pull up, we'll run out.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right. So that's what we did. And then the police at first wouldn't let me talk to my daughter because they wanted to get the whole story.
Yeah.
And then, but at that time, my 18-year-old, she came over. I haven't seen her in 8 years at the time. She just gave me a hug and broke down in my arms. And then after the police talked to my 15-year-old, then she, came running over. And then, kept on crying and saying how she missed me. She was always wanting me back. Like, she couldn't wait for that day to happen. And she knew, like, she was like, I was following you. Like, she always followed my social media.
Yeah.
Because I was on social media a lot at the time on like TikTok and stuff, talking about like, my recoveries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I was just more trying to get it out there for my kids to see.
Yeah.
And I didn't know, but they were secretly watching me, which was cool.
Awesome.
So they knew I was trying to get them back. So
Awesome.
it helped get, you know.
That's beautiful.
And then I've had them since then. And
what's your
everything's-
relationship with right now with them?
It's good.
Yeah.
Really good. Yeah.
And if they're listening, they can call in at 978-659-0072, as anyone can sign in.
Right.
And I don't know what they're saying, but it's all good. Hi, Meredith, and hi, Dave Spencer. Dave Spencer, I will tell a funny story. So David Spencer, when I first came into AA at Paranoid, couldn't even go to the bathroom because everyone's going to see me walk across the room. So my therapist said I need a sponsor before I return next week. And I said, will you be my sponsor? And typically, you know how it's men with men and women with women. Mm-hmm. He said, temporary, yes. And I honestly believe it. He said no. I would have ran out of AA and I would have never come back because I didn't know at this point that it was men with. I just knew I liked how he spoke and maybe he can help me. So his first he goes, all right. He goes, so just make a list of your defects of character, you know, so the next time we talk, we can look at them. I'm like, well, I don't have any. And he's like, all right, kid, keep coming. So I'm a little bit more sober. And we used to have a lot of sober dances in our facility. In our area, we had the Roadback Club. So they had a lot of sober things. So one night, like, you ready to like go out to a sober dance? I'm like, I'll give it a shot. And anxiety through the roof. I'm going to go. So we're at this dance. And I said, I got to go to the bathroom. Will you walk me there just in case I fall? I don't know. Just paranoia being newly sober. And it's all about us. And everyone's looking at us. But that's what we tell ourselves in the head. So we go to the bathroom. I go in, I realize I can't stay. I jump out the bathroom window. He's out, and I leave. I go home. He's standing outside of the bathroom going, like, where is this girl? And I'm out of there because of fear, doubts, and insecurities all the way. So I love that he's on tonight because he is a huge part of my recovery. And as you both know, today is my 37th year of recovery.
So congratulations.
Did you know that? I mean, how could you not? It's all over Facebook, right?
Yep.
But like, really talk about. Now I feel old. Like when I say 37, I keep almost saying 27 years, but no, it's actually. Thank you. And that's what I love. And that's because I quit drinking. And
I know.
You know, it's such an early age, so I'm richly blessed. But I truly love hearing what you had to say tonight, and I do support every road to recovery. I don't care if you use God. I don't care if you use meditation. The whole fact is that, like, this is a spiritual, a mind disease, a brain disease. And until we make that change and heal all of that, then we can become useful members to society. And today you are that. You should be really proud of yourself. And I hope that when your daughters look at you and your grandchildren, I pray your grandchildren never even know what addiction looks like because of you. Right. You know what I mean? So I pray that the curse is cut here. And
see, my daughters hate it. Because they see me and
Good.
their mom through it, so they don't want no part of it.
I love it.
I have great kids. You can tell you.
I love it.
Kids,
That's
I'm lucky in that part. Yeah.
You're very good girl.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's going to bring us over to you, young lady, because you and we could write a book together. Like, I can't tell you.
Oh my God,
I cannot tell you on the show the names that this woman has called me.
This is so bad.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite was our last interaction at Burger King with Officer Nicolosi and the canine dog.
I love Officer Nicolosi.
I do too. Actually, I hope she tuned in tonight because I don't know if I reminded her. But she had some choice words for me as I'm a phony, I'm this, I'm that, and my favorite C word. And I'm like, all right, I love you.
Remember.
I love you
I
too.
don't remember that.
So tell us about your story, because me, I keep saying she's my favorite comeback kid, because there were people thinking that she was never going to succeed.
Right.
And the fact that you are here tonight and you are where you're at in your recovery, you have the men and women in blue giving you a standing ovation because they thought you would be a statistic and of death. And here you are being a positive statistics in recovery.
Right.
So Tell us a little bit about yourself, beautiful.
So I was born with spina bifida. So I had a lot of surgeries throughout my life.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot of pain, you know, mental, physical. And when I walked my whole life though. I had a mild form of it. I was a cheerleader. I played softball, but I walked with a limp.
Yep.
And people would always make comments, you know how cruel kids can be.
Yep.
Even adults, into my adulthood, it even happened, you know. And when I turned 26, the Children's Hospital offered me a surgery to lengthen my left leg. I wouldn't walk with a limp anymore. It sounded like the best thing in the world. Get the surgery. They lengthened it too long. I had to go in for 2 more surgeries. It was a nightmare. It made me way worse. So that's I'd say in my mid 20s, I decided to I went off the deep end with alcohol. And I don't know. I didn't like opiates, thank God, but alcohol was what killed my pain.
Yep.
So I also suffered a lot of, you know, physical abuse, sexual abuse. I have a lot of trauma. I've had a lot of trauma throughout my life. And that alcohol was it for me. It numbed my pain. I didn't want to deal with life. And
was that abuse inside your home or outside?
No, it was men. It was men. I'm very codependent. I've always been like that. I got the best man ever right now. Though. I've always
said he won't take advantage of that.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that in you.
And
because I've always men, whatever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So when I was in my early 20s, one of my boyfriends at the time, he threw me down a flight of stairs, and I stayed in because I think it was because like I was so insecure with myself and my body and my scars and stuff. So I was like, well, you know, he's so handsome and like I can't, you know, I'm never gonna get another boyfriend. Or like, you know, like I was always just so insecure. So I just always didn't think of myself in a high regard. You know what I mean? Like, so I always dealt with a lot of abuse from guys. And then this last one before him, we were friends before. Right. Oh, did you meet?
I don't know.
So because he threw me out of the car that day. That was wonderful.
Yeah.
So so I ended up, I got in trouble. So 3 years ago, I got in trouble. And from something I did when I was drunk, very stupid. And I don't remember it at all, but I ended up going away to South Bay for 30 days. And I was in this abusive relationship at the time. He waited for me. Of course, I go to South Bay. It's only 30 days. I meet my little drinking buddies and my friends. And, you know, like all they talked about in South Bay jail was getting high and getting drunk. Yeah. And all the girls did was leave and go to Methadone Mile and get high. She did one of the girls I got close with. She like could not wait to get out and just go get some crack. Like that was what she was doing. She was not waiting until she got to Lawrence. She was going right there, and she just, you know what I mean? Because that's all they talk about. Yeah. It was the worst place for me. I wish I never went there. I came out really much worse. I relapsed, and my ex-boyfriend was an alcoholic as well. Mm-hmm. So I relapsed. I got in trouble with probation because I'm doing drug and alcohol tests now. I love my probation officer, by the way.
Me too.
Ashley, she's awesome. She stood by me. Yeah. You know, she knew that I messed up, and I kept making excuses, you know, oh no, I didn't, you know, like, but at the end of the day, I was believing my excuses. You know what I mean? Like I tried so many times, and I thought like that was going to be it, you know. And right after I got in trouble, I went to Washburn House. I want to say Washburn House in Worcester. Amazing. I came out so, oh my God, so much better from that. I stayed sober for a long time until I met this jerk. You know what I mean? Like, and yeah, they saved me. Like Washburn House was, as soon as I got in trouble, I went right into detox, you know, and I really love them. So I highly recommend them, and they take Mass Health. So
yes, just hard to get into.
Yeah. So anyway, so I met this guy, and he just destroyed me even worse than I already was. And I took it because he loved me. He only hit me when he was drunk. You know, it was one of those. And then you see those Lifetime movies, you're like, that would be that dumb. I'm not going to stay in that relationship. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you stay and I suffered through it because he would apologize and everything would be fine the next day. And then that time I saw you, I ended up, he threw me out of a car. I crawled to the side of the road because now I'm on crutches. So I had no way to walk to the side of the road. So my feet got all, I had no shoes on at the time. Because we were in the backyard or something. And I was asking everybody, please help me. My boyfriend just beat me. I was sitting out there for probably about 45 minutes, begging people. My boyfriend beat me. Please help me. Please help me. Nobody helped me. They walked by me. They let me sit there. And then finally someone ended up calling the cops. You came supposedly. I don't remember much of it. It was a really bad day. I ended up getting MRSA on my feet. I had to get surgery on my feet again, and more surgery. I had to go through.
Your feet were ran over.
Yeah, so it was bad. Like
Yeah.
It was just really bad, and it was like at that time I was like I just wanted to die, you know. And I've tried to kill myself a couple times.
Yep.
Always drunk.
Yep.
You know, and but yeah, so but my mom helped me a lot too. Like so when I was going through this horrible time, she would take the kids, you know, and she was there for me a lot. Like if it wasn't for her, I honestly don't know like where I'd be, but she was there for me. And I ended up, so after that happened, after the hospitalizations and everything, I was friends with him, and he's like, get away from that guy. And then all this bad stuff happened. I never got away from him. And then until after the hospital, he left me because he was like, well, I don't want to get in trouble. You know what I mean? Like he thought I was going to.
Such a man.
Yeah. He thought I was going to like go to the police. And,
Yeah.
you know, I ended up meeting with a social worker. They tried to help me. They were sweet and everything. But I didn't want to go through a trial or anything like that and look at him. And I just want everything to be forgotten. And then I ended up getting better after that. So it's been like a year and a half now, right? Or something like that since that incident. And I've just been staying strong. I did go to AA. It's a church in Methuen.
Yeah, on Forest Street.
Oh my gosh. I love that meeting.
Yep.
Everybody there is wonderful. I was going there with my ex. Like he was trying hard. Although he'd come home, you know, smelling like booze, and I'm like, I could smell it on, you know, it comes out of your pores. So I went there. I liked that meeting. I liked meetings because, you know why I liked it? Because, okay, so I was sitting there the first time I went to that meeting, right? I swear it was like a sign from God. So this girl walks in. It was a mom, 2 kids. The son's with her, blonde little boy, my son's age. I have a son that's 6 and a daughter that's 8. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, this is like a sign. Like she just spoke to me like, it's like she's speaking to me like she was going through the same stuff as me, and she wanted to be a present mom. And that was my goal. Like I needed to be there for my kids. Like they saved me, and like meeting him and leaving that loser like that, like he's my rock now. And like, it's so much easier to stay sober with someone that's sober. And when I was in jail, like when I was getting out, they're like, well, you know, but they, you know, prepare you to get out of jail and everything. And he's like, well, did your boyfriend drink? And I'm like, oh yeah, well, no, we're going to get sober together. No, that's, right. I thought it could work. And I tried a million times to quit drinking. And I really thought so many times, I really was like, this is it for me. I was so sick. I was puking. I had the tremors. I seized one time in my late 20s or whatever. And every single time, and I would tell my mom, my poor mother, I'd be like, it's it, Mom. This is it. And I really thought in my head it was it. You know, you really think it's it. And then it's like, alcohol's everywhere. It's just too hard. And then there's too much pain in my head, like too much mental pain. And I mean, I've been through hell, and I got a therapist. I see my therapist every Friday, South Bay. She's amazing.
Awesome.
I go to Clean Slate in Tewksbury.
Awesome.
They put me on the Vivitrol shot. I didn't like it for me for curbing alcohol cravings. I didn't think it did much, but Camprol, I liked that better.
Okay.
So I thought that helps with alcohol cravings. And
is that a shot that they'll give you?
The Vivitrol shot, but the Camprol's pills.
It's a pill.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So, and it works for me. But right now, I just feel everything is just so much better. I'm in school at UMass Boston for addiction counseling. Mass Rehab pays. They literally help you. I really highly suggest going to them. They will help you get education. They will help you get a job. They placed me at the Newburyport Housing Authority to build my resume. Mass Rehab's amazing. Can't speak, highly.
So who can go to Mass Rehab?
Anybody. So
Like anybody in addiction.
Yeah, because that's how he's going to Wentworth.
I'm going to Wentworth. Well, between that and my Social Security disability.
Yeah. So do you have to have a disability to go to them?
No,
low income. I think it's low income.
It's just low income.
Right.
If you have low income, like me, I have what they call the Rights to Work program.
Yep.
So for someone that was on disability and wants to go back to the work field, they help you out. So with that, but then Mass Rehab is the one that is paying for all my schooling. So. That's awesome. I had my option of going for whatever, and I mean a BA for especially at Wentworth is like $150,000 course.
Absolutely.
So, I had a choice, and so I took that. And,
Good for you.
And I want to
You know.
mention another thing about probation.
Yeah.
Ashley Leonard offers a motherhood group to.
Tonight's their first night.
Oh my gosh!
And I got them all
For the new-
speakers. I
I was supposed to be-
lined her. You were supposed to be there.
I'm going again. This is my third
Amen.
time.
Amen.
I didn't know that it's Saturday. She said the end
What's
of
today?
October. She said the end of October.
Oh, yeah, it's not tonight.
Yeah, at the end
It's
of
the
October.
30. Yes.
Yeah, the 30.
Yes.
Okay, good,
And
'cause was
I
like,
have
she would have told me.
amazing speakers.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I love. I love the speakers that come in.
They're not all the same. There's one that's
Yeah.
coming that you have heard, but the
Mhm.
rest are all different because I'm trying to
Different
mix it up.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. And so tell us a little bit about this mothers group because
So-
she reeled me in based on because I do the drug court.
Mhm.
I have formed a relationship with all the probation officers
Yeah.
and the judges at Lawrence District Court.
Yeah.
And learning about my own recovery, they said, "Can you get a speaker?" So I have been helping her with her speakers since the group. But why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
So I wasn't. She didn't have me. Like I wasn't mandated to do this group.
Yeah.
She told me about it. I'll do whatever I can to, first of all, help my recovery. And it's a motherhood addiction group. So I'm a mom, and my like being a mom is everything to me.
Yep.
So I gave it a shot. I graduated from it last over the summer.
Amen.
I met so many amazing girls. You connect with other moms. They teach you about being a mom and how to navigate motherhood and
While taking care of yourself,
right?
yeah.
And while taking care of yourself, and yeah, they have speakers. Mass Rehab came in one time. That
Yep.
was awesome. They did that. I ended up making a really good friend, this girl Janari. She's a very close friend to me. We still talk to this day.
Awesome.
And it's great because you can meet other moms that you can connect with and relate to.
That's so.
So I really
awesome.
loved it. Yeah, I loved it. So I'm going back. She didn't tell me I had to. I said I want to come back.
Good.
Yeah.
No,
So-
because then you're an example for the newcomer that's
Right.
in there,
Yeah.
and you're able to share because you have the opportunity to speak in there.
Right.
And that's how this whole thing's worked. That's
Right.
how it was like you said the most key thing was you got away from the people that you were drinking and drugging with
Right.
and look
That's
at your
key.
lives. You're
Right.
sober.
Oh my
We
gosh.
are what we surround ourselves
It's
in,
true.
you
It's
know?
true.
So now
You
you
are
have this
part of your
experience.
environment.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have this experience of that motherhood group, which is amazing.
Mhm.
And you're going to be there for the new lady that comes in where
Right.
this sucks, because some might be mandated to go to it. And
Yeah.
you'll be like, no, trust me.
Right.
Like I thought just like you.
Yeah.
And that's just how this whole thing works, which is
Yeah,
pretty
I got
amazing.
a couple other ones that I met the last time. They're on my Facebook.
Awesome.
Sweet girls. Yeah. So it's great. It's great.
Awesome.
But AA, I don't have to go I don't feel like I have to go anymore just because like I don't know. It's like I'm going to school. I'm focusing on being a mom. I don't think about alcohol anymore. It doesn't even
And I
cross my
don't
mind
drink.
anymore.
I was
Amen.
never a drinker.
Yeah.
Never.
He doesn't drink at all.
I
So
don't-
it's like
I don't-
perfect.
yeah, it's not
Right.
No.
part of my addiction because I can actually go out and drink.
Yeah.
And not do it. I just don't drink. I don't
Amen.
like alcohol.
Amen.
Yeah.
It was so hard. Like it was so hard dating and being like, well, I don't drink. Like, come on, let's
And
go
it's
for a drink.
easy. And it's easier for us because see, I'm a heroin addict
Yep.
and she's an alcoholic.
Yes.
So I don't drink and
Right.
she
She
don't
doesn't
do
use
heroin.
dope, yeah.
So I don't have to worry about her bringing that into the
Yeah.
house.
That's right.
And she doesn't have to worry about me bringing alcohol
Right.
in the house.
Amen.
And that's one of the main reasons why it's easy for us to,
Right.
to navigate together in sobriety because she doesn't have,
Yeah.
we don't have the same things.
That's right.
So it's a lot easier.
Right.
You know.
And speaking of navigating, so talk to me about how you two reconnected. Like you just stayed friends because I know you've been friends for a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
we- on
he wanted
Facebook.
you to leave the guy with no motive. You just said,
No,
"My
no,
friend's
no,
suffering.
because-
She needs to get out."
Yeah, listen. So she would tell me all the stuff that was going on, and I seen it because when I was in, I
Yep.
was abused. I was an abuser myself.
Yep.
I'm not, I'm the type of person. I have never had a problem putting my hand on a woman
Yep.
because I watched it growing up.
Yep.
So but I got, that's how I was when I was younger.
Yep.
But I didn't like it because how my father, I used to watch my father beat my mother.
Yep.
The police show up and never did nothing.
Yep.
Like never did nothing to my father. So I always thought when I was younger it was all right.
Yep.
But then when I got older, it wasn't all right,
Right.
So when I was that person, I remember how I was. So I seen this was coming along.
Yeah.
And I just told her, I said, it's not going to get any better. It's just going to get worse. I said, you got them little kids. I go, you know, if God forbid, you might even end up hurting your kids if you don't get out of here.
Yeah.
You know, and she would say, I'm gonna, and then she'd be like, a week later, I love them too much. I got to go back, and I could save them. And I'm like, you're not saving them, believe me. You know what I mean? So
we begged her to leave him.
So, yeah. So we always stayed in contact, but then I didn't hear from her for a while.
Yep.
Then she gave me one of them, like when you're ashamed type, to tell you. So she came. So she hit me up one day and told me, she goes, listen, you threw me out of the car. You were right. I should have listened to you, and whatever. And then it just.
And then I got him with chicken pound.
Yeah. So she made a post. Like not too long after that, she made this post about making. Oh no, it was about there's still women that cook, clean, don't cheat, don't lie, don't steal. I'm like, yeah, all right. And then I was like, and about having so I was like, so what are we gonna eat? So she was like, I make the best chicken parm and meatball. So I had obviously.
And then he never left. He just stayed.
So yeah, pretty much. No,
we're the same person. It's weird.
So what happened was we started our relationship.
Yeah.
I was living at my mom's and she had her house. Yeah. And so I ended up I was doing a historical rebuild out in Lowell. Yeah. Well, I live in Saugus. In her house, she was staying at her mother's house.
I know where that is.
Yeah, because
she was staying in Tewksbury.
My mom was helping me with the kids, and I just wanted to stay. If I stay with my mom, I knew I could stay sober. I have to stay with her. If I'm by myself, I wanted to be with my mom.
Yeah. And so her house in Medowin, no one was staying at.
Yeah.
So I asked her, do you mind if I go and stay at your house, in Medowin while I do this job? So, of course, she said, yeah. And then, she would stay with me and, sometimes by herself, and then started bringing the kids, and pretty much never left after that.
And how long has it been?
Oh,
last January.
Yeah.
And January. When did you get married?
In July.
Awesome.
We got married quick, but
you knew each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How did your kids? How did you merge the two families together?
My kids love them.
It was just. I mean, it just ended up happening through after time, because I had my daughter. She had her kids.
Yep.
My daughter was in Saugus High. I told her I'll let you stay in Saugus. My mother said, she could finish the year off there. So I let her want to stay. I gave her an option. You want to come stay with me in Medowin, or she wanted to finish school there. Yep. So what she would do was she'd go to school, and then on the weekend she'd come up to the house, and we'd always, we try to do something every weekend for our kids.
Awesome.
That I'm not working, because during the summertime, I was working from April till a month ago.
Yeah,
I was working 7 days a week.
Right. But on the weekends, we take them. We just took them to the aquarium. I don't advise going there on a rain day. It was horrible. We just took them there last weekend, and it's so great because Ava's the one who's 15, so she's with us, and then I have my two kids, so they're 8 and 6. And Ava's like, "Well, I love being the big sister because she's not used to being the big sister." Right. So my daughter is obsessed with her. You have no idea. It's the cutest little thing. They cuddle. She's always on. It's just
and
everything.
She does the same thing with the boy too, with Joseph. Yeah. She's the same way with him too. She likes having a little brother too.
Yeah. So it's cute. It works out cute, and I love.
All my kids love her.
And I mean, he says I'm a Grammy now. I'm like, no, I don't think so.
No.
Mother approved.
I know my mom loves him. Yeah, my mom's because he's good for me. He's good for me, and we work well. We both have the same attitude because I got that Italian attitude. So my mother, my brothers are like
temper.
I know.
Speaking of your brothers, is he watching?
Probably.
Yeah. Good.
I love my brothers. They're another reason.
We used to get so mad at your mother, like you're enabling her and yet, here she is saving you, know? So for every person, it's different, but
I just thought the fact that I can make her proud and I finally did it, finally did it, and I'm never going back. And I know for a fact I'm never going back. I'm telling you right now, I will lose my kids and I will lose my husband. I will lose my life.
Know everything.
I won't go, but I won't. I'm in school now. I have a chance to help other people.
Isn't that beautiful?
And
you can sit in this chair someday.
I
and
want
do
to.
this.
You're a role model to me. I tell you all the time, you're my mentor.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like that's what I'm meant to do. I'm a social person. I talk to everyone. And I post some recovery things on my Facebook. One girl reached out to me. We talk here and there. She just went to. She's a sweet girl. She just went to detox for 2 weeks or whatever for alcohol, and
Awesome.
I connected with her just because she's like, what you post is like inspiring to me, and that just means a lot to me. Like, that's what I want to do. I want to help people, and I know I can because I've been through the depths of hell and I made it.
You did.
I made it. I'm gonna cry. I made it.
You
I
did.
made it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Both
You
is.
can. It can happen, and I just can't believe it happened. I'm
I
like,
tell
is this my life?
anybody, if I can get sober, then
Right.
I don't know who can't get
But
sober.
I pray to God. I pray
Yes.
to God, and I thank Him for this life
Yeah.
because
Amen.
I never thought I would.
Yeah.
I didn't even think I could get sober.
Right.
When I was getting high, I didn't even think I could.
Right.
I honestly thought I was one of them lost causes.
Yeah, one of those
I was a
statistics.
statistic.
Yeah.
I went and got my own plot. I went and literally bought my plot because I thought I was going to die. Like, I
Okay.
thought, like, that was just what I was meant to do,
Yeah.
because I didn't think I could get sober.
Awesome.
And a lot of times I didn't want
Right.
to,
And in construction, do you have people that are around you that are using? Because I know sometimes.
I have people, the kid that's like my partner,
Yep.
he's in recovery. He's
Amen.
an alcoholic.
Yep.
Was an alcoholic, recovering.
Yep.
He's got like 3 years sober.
Awesome.
And we don't like, there's been people that come on the job that like do stuff,
Yeah.
but like not on the job or anything.
Yeah.
And I've only been on a couple jobs where there's been like someone,
Yeah.
because it's mostly just me and this one guy
Yep.
that do mostly all the work.
Good.
So we don't, we both try to stay away from that.
Yeah.
And
But also let individuals know, like, hey, we're clean, and if
Mhm.
anyone
Right.
ever needs help, like, we'll
Yeah.
get
oh
back
yeah,
if
oh
you
we,
need.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I tell anybody, if you want
Awesome.
help, I got no problem helping you.
Amen.
If you want help, I can get you help. I
Yeah.
got plenty of people, I know like Mac, you got Mac in and he owns After.
Yep.
I know a lot of people in the
Amen.
recovery field.
Amen.
A lot of my old friends are in the recovery
Good.
field.
And you guys
stuff.
came to my recovery event.
That was
with Brandon
wonderful.
Nova. What did you like
Yeah.
about it?
I liked. Oh my gosh, I thought he's like relatable too. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Was that your first time seeing him?
No, I've seen him before.
Yeah.
I've watched him on TV. I remember
When he was
watching.
on Jackass?
Yeah, I remember watching him on Jackass, him and Bam and all them guys. I was
Yep.
doing all this. I remember watching him when he was, in active addiction.
Yeah.
And at that time, I was in active addiction,
Right.
So
Did you find it funny when you were in active addiction watching that?
not really.
No.
I don't find
found
any
it
of that
stupid.
funny.
I know it is. Stupid, I know.
I've never found any of that stuff funny.
Right.
I really just thought it was a bunch of people shaming themselves because they're
Yeah.
on drugs, getting high.
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
Yep.
Just like one thing I hate when people on like Facebook and whatever filming addicts that are nodding out and
I know.
stuff.
I hate
I hate that.
It's the worst.
I hate people going and showing like, oh, you're helping out with an addict, buying them a sandwich or whatever. But why do you gotta post it?
Right.
Right.
You know
Be
what I mean?
humble.
Or like,
Right.
or helping someone out buying groceries. Why you
Yep.
gonna post that?
Yep.
Like you're not doing it for a good reason at that point. At that point, you're doing it for likes and
Praise.
stuff. Yeah. I don't like that type of stuff.
I
If you're
love
gonna
it.
do something, do it out of your kind heart,
I
or
love
don't
it.
do nothing at all.
I love
You know what I liked about the event too is like the recovery community is amazing.
Isn't
I mean,
that
everybody's
awesome?
so nice and
Yeah.
so supportive, and it's like it's just so easy to like make friends and sober friends. And I
Yeah.
never thought that I could do that because I've had so many bad people in my life, and I just I surround myself with good people. My family's amazing. My aunt Lisa's amazing. She's watching, I think. I love her. She's always been there for me too. She's like, her and my mom are amazing. But yeah, it's good. We have good families. We have a good relationship with our kids, and
Yep.
Yeah.
And what the example that you're setting for the younger two kids of having
Yeah.
sober parents,
Yeah.
raising
well,
them.
it made me sad because my oldest, she knows what alcohol is.
Okay.
Because when my mom would come and bring the kids, I
Yep.
would have vodka and water bottles, and I'd be like, oh, well, I just didn't want to be sick, and I don't know my limit, so I would just keep drinking, and then she knows mommy's not herself.
She gets sad about it, but how I look at it is like my daughter's seen me in active addiction. So they know what it does to you.
Yeah.
Wait, no, but that's
So-
true because my daughter said
so
she's never going to
her
drink.
So your
daughter-
kids didn't use because you were
because
like,
they've
right.
seen it.
And my
because
daughter
they've
says the
seen what
same
it
thing.
does.
Even when
So
I
right.
see people,
So because
drinking.
her daughter was able to see that and
Yeah.
now and knows what it is,
Yeah.
could help her in the future not do that now.
She's
Because
like, I'm not going to do it for
she-
fun because she knows
because-
people do it for
right.
fun too.
right.
Family events, whatever events. It's
So how are you going to tell them to deal with peer pressure? These kids,
I
yours,
know.
especially in high school,
I know.
you know, how are you going to deal with peer pressure?
I
She's
mean,
good. She doesn't do anything
my
wrong.
daughter,
She's an
my
angel.
daughter won't give in and stuff like that. My
Amen.
daughter hangs with the right people too.
Amen.
She doesn't hang with the people that are, using and stuff like that.
Awesome.
She doesn't, I tell her, I explain to her, about staying away from certain people because
Yeah.
all they're going to want to do is drag you down,
Yeah.
And that's right. They don't want to be like him.
It's not cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I tell them, you want to be like me? Like they see me in and out, yeah, their whole entire lives. All since my first one was 23 years old.
Yeah.
I went away one time when the first time I went away when she was born was when she was 7 months old.
Wow.
I only did a year at that time. I came out and she was 17 months old.
Yeah.
But she's seen that pattern of me.
Yeah.
Here, I'm home. Oh, where's dad for a few years?
Yeah.
I'm back home.
Yeah.
And then, but I wasn't even home. I was high.
Right.
So I was just
you weren't even
there,
present. Yeah.
Right.
No kidding.
And now that I'm sober, I'm available. I'm available for my kids.
Yeah.
I'm if my mom needs me, I'm available. If her
Yeah.
mom needs me, I'm available. If she needs me. Anyone that needs me, I'm available.
Doesn't that feel
Yeah.
good
It's
to
so
be
good. It feels so
available?
good.
It is. Like,
It
that's-
really,
And I hug my
you
kids.
can count on me
Yeah.
to show up. If you
Right.
need a ride,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
Right.
I'm not showing up 2 days later.
I
Just like
know.
you met 2 days ago.
Right.
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 I was on my way, but
Right. See, I had this guy. I don't know if you know Ed Blue.
okay.
He used to run the drug program in Billerica jail.
Okay.
But now he's doing he does anger management and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and out of the church in Woburn.
Yeah.
I've had him he's helped me in recovery
Amen.
different times, and just recently I was seeing him for about a year.
Awesome.
I was seeing him, and that's what we'd always talk about, about that. And then I tell him what my plans was. I told him I had a plan to go to Wentworth at some point for my project management.
Yep.
And here I am doing it.
That's awesome.
I set a plan. I did a 5-year plan.
Yep.
When I was in. I set up my first 5 years what I was going to do. And then now what we're doing.
Moving on to the
years.
next.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you both were kind of nervous being here, and with the show's already over.
I know.
And you did an amazing job, and you
Yeah.
have a powerful story. So
Yeah.
if we could just, before we sign off, if someone's struggling tonight and they're watching this show, what would you say to them?
Recovery's possible.
Amen.
Period.
Amen.
Yeah,
How?
absolutely. Huh?
How?
How? You gotta
What
want
would they do? What
You
would
gotta
you tell
want
them
it.
to
You
do?
they gotta want it.
Amen.
You gotta
That's what
want
it
it.
is.
And what would you say to someone struggling?
You're not going to do it for anybody but yourself. I mean, people, my mother could tell me, what about your kids? What about this? What about that? I had to do it for myself, and I wanted a life. I was existing. Being
Right.
in addiction
That's
is
what I meant.
existing
Yeah.
in life. You're not living.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm living now. We have a good life. We're going on vacations. You know what I mean? We have a house. We have, a life. We have a future together. And
Amen.
that is, like I was going to say, hugging my kids now, to feel that feeling. I'm feeling feelings now, and I'm trying to cope with them. My therapist helps me. But it's, that feeling now is better than any feeling I think of having when I was drunk, because I don't know, just being with them and being with all of our kids, and just seeing what it's like to have a family, be in the family life, and do all these fun things with them. I don't know. It's so much better. And I don't think about drinking anymore at all. I
See,
really
my
don't.
final was a doctor. I overdosed.
Yep.
My last time using, I overdosed, and I overdosed in the bed. I told the doctor if I didn't get my comfort meds, I was going to get. And the kid came. I go in the bathroom, overdose, and the doctor asked me if I had a picture of my kids, and I, of course, on the phone you do. So he held up a needle in the phone with my pictures. He was like, "What do you want? You want this, or do you want that?" Because and then he put them together. He's like, "Because you can't have both."
Yeah.
And that's, luckily I went to prison.
Amen.
And that's what
What a
saved
reality,
me.
yeah.
Yeah. Because we got
Wow.
reality.
You can do it. I can't believe I
Amen.
did
You
it.
know, it's picking your
Amen.
kids.
Well, thank you all for tuning in tonight and celebrating being here on my 37th sober anniversary with these two amazing guests. Again, I refer to you at the PD as my favorite comeback story. You are an absolute miracle, and it's been an honor and privilege to hear you. And I wish you both all the happiness in the world. And I look forward to seeing where you're going to go. Maybe you'll even intern at the police department.
Oh my goodness, they would love me there.
Oh my God.
They would love to sober me.
They have
would, because
PTSD.
I'm awesome. So I know I am a good
Thank you.
person, and I'm awesome sober. And not,
Yeah.
I'm a
So listen, if you or a loved one are struggling, I need you to know that recovery is possible. I am available for you 24/7. Please reach out. We cannot do this alone. Together, we can do anything, most importantly with God. A big shout out to my producer back there, Lou, who I forgot to thank at the beginning of the show. And thank you all for tuning in tonight and celebrating 37 years with me. Good night and God bless, and we'll see you soon.